It was August of 2013. I was driving back from Chicago to my home in Pinckney, Michigan. I usually take I-94 east and then head up north to my home. But this time I took the scenic route and went the back way, going past Hell, Michigan. As I'm driving down D32 road, I notice something ahead of me crossing the road. There's a walking trail that goes around Hell, right before you get to Hell, Michigan. As I'm driving, I see a tall figure. It looks like they're wearing all dark brown. At first, I thought it was a person just walking across the road. One thing I found odd about it was, it looked like they were wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt and a backpack that was all dark brown. When I get closer, I can make out details. And the first thought that popped into my mind was, it was a person wearing a gorilla outfit. It looked like a person wearing an ape outfit. There was nothing unusual about it. The stride looked human. So I just dismissed that whole incident and move on. 2 weeks have passed. I'm sitting at home on a Thursday night, and it's just before my wife gets home. She usually gets home around 1 a.m. I hear her car pull up to the driveway. It usually takes her about 30 seconds to get inside the house from her door. This night, it took her about 20 minutes to get from her car to inside our house. At the time, I thought she was on the phone with her sister. When she gets inside the house, she is completely white, and a look came across her face that I've never seen before. She told me that as soon as she turned off the engine, and right before she turned off the headlights, she caught a glimpse of something in between the two trees. She said that she thought it was a person, and then she thought it was me. She said it looked like a tall gorilla with brown fur swaying back and forth, one shoulder going from one side of the tree to the other. The thing never made eye contact, but was looking at the hood of her car. It stared towards her for about 30 seconds and then walked off to its left. She was afraid to get out, and she stayed in her car for about 20 minutes before running into the house. She pointed through the window to show me where she saw the thing. I go outside to see if I can find anything, but it's too dark to see any evidence. That's when I remember my incident a couple of weeks prior, and I tell her that for the first time. It was 2 days later, on a Saturday night. I go to the backyard to smoke what I thought was my last cigarette for that year. Less than a minute after sitting down, I hear breathing like somebody's breathing through their nose. The wind shifts its direction towards me, and that's when I catch a whiff of what smells like hot garbage. I look straight ahead, and I see eyes shine between 4 to 5 feet. The eye shine disappears, as if it closed its eyes. I whistled to see if I can see the eye shine again. Whatever was in that cornfield, it whistled back. It made 2 short whistles, and then it must have opened its eyes, because that's when I seen the eye shine again. It must have been staring at me for about 30 seconds before I stood up and took a step forward. That's when it stood up. It had to have been around 7 feet tall. It takes a long left turn, turning around completely. I can hear it as it breaks through the cornfield. I stay out there for 2 more minutes before going back inside the house. Later that night, I go on the computer and research some Bigfoot sightings around the area. I find out that I'm not the only one seeing this thing. One of the things I find most strange about this, I live about 15 minutes away from Ann Arbor, which is a pretty big city. And it's just strange that this thing's around a city